Welcome to Home Care Matters, the show where we discuss all things home care, with discussions on important age-related matters and topics. Brought to you by Enriched Life Home Care Services, the #1 rated home care provider in Michigan by Top Rated Local.
Hello and welcome back to All Home Care Matters. If this is your first time visiting us here at the show, thank you for taking time out to be with us today. We appreciate how valuable everyone's time is, and that's why we try and make each episode here at All Home Care Matters something that will hopefully matter to you. Today, we're going to be discussing difficult behaviors that are associated with dementia. If you have a loved one who has been diagnosed with a form of dementia, then you probably already know that behaviors can change from day to day and hour by hour. There are no guaranteed, proven methods or actions that can change these behaviors, but there are ways that are better for handling them than others. We're going to be discussing and going through the most common and challenging behaviors that are associated with dementia, as well as discussing effective ways for handling them. First, let's go through the most common challenging behaviors. Aggression, anger, apathy or loss of interest, personality changes, trouble with communicating, shadowing you or someone else for excessive periods of time, mood swings, walking around at night, pacing or acting out physically, maybe even hitting or other aggressive physical actions, restlessness, verbal abuse. A common theme for caregivers is to seek and ask for help from others. This can be difficult. Sometimes we want to help protect our loved ones by not exposing them to others due to the decline in their health and the progression of their dementia. We recently had spoke with a family whose father had been a pastor for many years at a local church in the community, and their father was recovering from hip surgery after having a couple of serious falls, and they needed some help for a month or two until he regained his strength and was back on his feet. But during this meeting, one of the daughters had pulled us aside and wanted to speak to us privately. When we sat down with them in a different room in the home, they informed us that their mother had advanced dementia, but they did not want anyone in the church or the community to know since it was a family secret. No one outside of their family knew that their mother was dealing with dementia. Now, we assured her that everything is completely confidential, and even though we were not needed to help their mother, it was still privileged information, and as professionals, our staff and company never discusses a client's or family's personal information or details outside of the home. But this example is very common. Many times families are protecting their loved ones' dignity and privacy, and they find it difficult at times to ask or accept outside help. But sometimes when you do accept help, either professionally or privately, a different set of eyes and a different perspective can sometimes help achieve things and make inroads where the family, who has been the only one there, can be a positive experience both for the family and their loved one. Another thing you could try is accommodating their behavior instead of trying to control it. It can be exhausting trying to convince your loved one that the sky is blue when they believe it's purple. Let them think and believe it's purple, even though it's blue. As hard as you try to understand and accommodate your loved one, some of their symptoms can be caused by underlying physical problems. If you suspect that something more may be going on and it's not their normal behavior, remember, it can be difficult and sometimes even impossible for them to express themselves or communicate to you when there may be something more going on. If you ever suspect that there may be something more going on, contact their doctors immediately. The phrase, "if you've seen one person with dementia, you've only seen one person," is one of the truest statements that can be made about a loved one who's dealing with dementia. That's because this disease can and does affect everyone in vastly different ways. There's very little routine and anything typical from one person to the next. This is one of the hardest aspects to adjust to, because what worked yesterday may not work today, and what works good for you today may fail miserably tomorrow. Remain flexible with the changes and the ups and downs. This also means to remain flexible in your perspective. It's a good strategy to remember the best way to do something differently is the first attempt to see it in a different way. If you change how you view a situation, it can oftentimes enable your loved one with dementia to have different behavior. As you're adjusting and trying new methods and strategies, don't forget about you in the midst of it all. One of the ways to help you, for you, is to find the best way for you to cope with the days that don't go smoothly or good. There will be days that are difficult and days you would like to go and start over again. And having good coping strategies will help in easing the days that are difficult. When you're having a good day or a bad day, one method for helping to change negative behaviors is to change the patterns that you get into as well. As an example, if you make your loved one a meal and you always start it by asking, what sounds good today, or what would you like to eat? And they always refuse to answer, or they don't want to eat. Try instead making something that they enjoy and then tell them it's time to eat. This eliminated the going back and forth of trying to get answers, and instead you've skipped that part and just prepared their meal and told them it's ready. The idea is to try different patterns for different situations and try to mix it up from being the same pattern every time. We understand that a lot of energy, emotions, and physical work goes into the care you provide for your loved one. Remember to keep exercising that flexibility, your patience, and compassion. It's not easy, and anyone who's tried to tell you that it is probably has never cared for a loved one, let alone a loved one with dementia. Remember, you cannot make or change your loved one's behavior, but you always have the ability to change yours. If you try to control and change your loved one, you're most likely going to be met with strong resistance, and they may even shut down further on any of your attempts. As we talked earlier, work to accommodate them and remain flexible. Your loved one's behaviors are motivated by something you may not see or know what it is, but it's usually a way for them to make a statement. Maybe they're continually making repetitive statements or actions like taking all of their clothes out of their drawers over and over again, even after you've put them back in there. This may be a way for them to act out for a sense of needing to be productive, useful, or helpful. We had met with a family one time, and their father had dementia, and it was becoming too much for their mother to take care of him, and they were worried about her health. What they wanted to do was get some help for her, but help him at the same time. So by helping him, as a result, it was helping her. Now, when they were explaining some of their father's behaviors, they said he was making it almost impossible for their mother to fold and put the laundry away, because every time she brought a load into the living room to fold and put away, he would always knock the laundry down and mess it up that she had just folded. This kept happening over and over again, and they explained that their father would always fold the laundry and put it away after their mom washed it and dried it and brought it up for him to fold. This was before he developed the dementia. So we had suggested, not knowing if this would work or not, that the next time she did laundry, they give him a basket of socks to fold and see if that helped him, and as a result, would help their mother. Well, the next time she did laundry, that's exactly what she did. And she gave him a small laundry basket with socks and set him up with it at the table in their living room. And they said it was really amazing to see him fold the socks. And when he would fold the last pair, he would put them all back in the laundry basket and then dump them all out again and start over. This made him feel productive, but it also enabled their mom to fold all the other laundry and get it put away without having to contend with him over it. It was a nice solution for them both. So try to anticipate what your loved one may need, like this family's father. It may be something that takes you time to figure out, but your loved one does want to feel productive, helpful, and useful. And remember, they can and do get bored, just like all of us. We hope that this episode has helped you. And if you know anyone that may benefit from the information, please share it with them. We want to thank you for joining us here at All Home Care Matters. All Home Care Matters is here for you and to help families as they navigate long-term care issues. We invite you to visit us at allhomecarematters.com. There is a private, secure, fillable form there where you can give us feedback or show ideas, or if you have questions. Every form is read and responded to. Please join us next time on All Home Care Matters, where we're going to be discussing what an adult daycare is and what they can offer families and their loved ones. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to you joining us again on another episode of Home Care Matters. To learn more about the show and to connect with us, visit us at allhomecarematters.com.